Today, we're going to be revisiting the Psyched Substance Reddit, and I'm going to be reacting or responding to one of your trip reports. What that basically entails is I'm going to read the trip report out loud. I'm going to share with you guys what was done right, what was done wrong, what you could have done better if you were trying to practice the utmost of safety and harm reduction. So yeah, let's get right into this. I've already chosen a good story. We've got running from the police while on 3.5 grams of penis envy and 200 micrograms of acid. Now, for those of you who don't know, penis envy is a strain of psilocybe cubensis, which are notoriously powerful. They're often 2, sometimes even 3 times as strong as traditional cubes. That's right. They are not to be effed with. So 3.5 grams is more like 6, 7, 8, 9 grams of regular. Like, that's insane. Mind-blowing. Turn your brain into mush insane. Plus 200 micrograms of acid. That's 2 regularly dosed tabs. This combo is stupid. When you combine compounds together, what they do is piggyback each other and become stronger. It increases the potency of both of them exponentially. In fact, I've had it where I was, say, on a couple tabs and then I had just a microdose of mushrooms, and that alone was enough to give me enhanced visuals. We're talking a fraction of a gram. So this combination is going to quite literally be otherworldly. Anyway, let's get right into the story. Hey guys, today I will be sharing a story on why set and setting has everything to do with the outcome of your trip. Out of the 15 trips I've had with shrooms, this is the only bad trip I have ever had. This happened back when I was 17, when I was stupid and reckless, LOL. Me and my friend, who we will call Doc, got invited to an underground rave, which we had other friends going to as well. At this time, I only thought Doc was in possession of a couple acid tabs, and the weed he was bringing to the rave. This will come back later. It's funny that he calls him Doc because back in the day, DOC or DOM were commonly sold drugs disguised as acid. You would always know that if you got docked because the tabs would be particularly bigger, because they'd be anywhere from 2.5 to 5 milligrams on a tab. So they were giant squares versus regular tabs of good old Lucy are dosed at 100 to 300 micrograms, meaning you need a much smaller piece of paper to fit that on it. But people who didn't know back in the day, because all this safety information wasn't as easily available, they would get these big old tabs of Doc and think they were getting tabs of acid, and some of the negative effects, if you say took multiple tabs, would be vasoconstriction to the point where some people have had to actually get limbs amputated. So I think it's interesting that he's going by the name Doc here. But anyway, that's just a little side ramble. So we get to the rave and I dropped 2 tabs of 100 micrograms and smoked a joint while I waited for the beautiful peak to happen. About an hour into the party and I'm tripping just nicely. Normally I only trip at home or somewhere where I'm going to be at for a long time. So about 3 hours into my trip, and my other friend, we shall call Taylor, arrived and showed us that she has acquired a couple of shroom chocolate bars. Oh no. Oh God, no. When you mix shrooms in chocolate bars, in my experience, they are so much stronger. It could have something to do with the interaction of the cacao and the mushroom cacao chocolate containing theobromine, which is a close relative to caffeine. Or maybe it's because when it's just been distilled into chocolate, you don't have all that mushroom matter to sift through and your body just absorbs it instantly. I don't know, but when you're eating the mushrooms and chocolate, they are so much stronger. They have 3.5 Gs of penis envy in them. I'm pretty sure I've had these exact chocolate bars, and they're freaking strong. I have a video on it. Feeling great off the 2 tabs, I said F it and ate it because we was leaving and heading back to Doc's house for the night to smoke and do whatever we do, yo. That's right, gangster, we gonna do what we do. We get in the car and Doc looks really nervous and scared, so I ask him what's up, and he tells me he thinks he's too fucked up to drive. I tell him I just ate 3.5 grams of shrooms, so I'm definitely not driving. Plus, let's not forget the 2 tabs of Miss Old Lucy, Loosey Goosey. After sitting there for almost an hour, he feels good enough to drive. All right, pulls through, man, even though he should not be driving. Never drive under the influence of psychedelics, you goddamn morons. So we make our way back to the house. I'm starting to feel it really strong, and it's getting even stronger. On our way home, Doc wants to stop at Walmart to get something to drink and snack on. Why does this dude want to snack? Did I miss something? I thought he was on some tabs. Maybe I missed it. So we pull into Walmart and park the car and get out and head into this Walmart at 1 a.m. The floors and walls were so bright and everything was wavy and moving, and I started to get sick. Out of nowhere, I get this urge to throw up and I vomit all over the floor of Walmart. So like my sound effects, I'm trying to make this as vivid as possible for you guys. Oh man, I start to get scared and panic a little and tell Doc that I gotta get the hell out of here and back to the car. We start to walk back and I see a female police officer by the exit talking to the door greeter. Oh no. When I saw the officer, I must have looked like shit because she looked over at us and saw me dip behind the clothes section. You probably didn't look like shit as much as like if someone looks at you and you're just like, whoa, and you hide from them, and they're a cop, they're going to be suspicious, you moron. What are you doing? I mean, I'm calling you a moron, but when you're tripping, your brain's not really functioning properly. So it's kind of, it's a given that he's going to get arrested. I tell Doc I don't know what to do, and he tells me he's scared to go back to the car because he has 2 zips of bud and 1 sheet of acid, as well as 2 G's of Molly. Oh no. Hearing this, I almost broke down and died there. Why are they acting like the cop is just like going to follow them? Why don't you just wait until the cop leaves? Is it going to talk to the door greeter the entire night? Does it work there? I don't get it. Just wait. Anyway, so we form a plan to just walk out the other exit. So we make our way to the other side and we see the officer walking this way. The officers probably think you're stealing shit, guys. We hurry out the door and I vomit again all over the sidewalk. Oh my gosh. Doc tells me to hurry the F up, but when I try to speed walk to him, I stop and vomit again. At this point, the officer saw us and must have thought we was drunk and shouted for us to come here. Yep, that's plausible. I mean, you're puking everywhere for sure. Hearing that made my heart stop and fall out of my ass. That's a good visual. Next thing I know, Doc says, run, and takes off towards this wooded neighborhood area. So I start to run too. The officer is screaming stop at this point and starts chasing us. Oh my gosh. I felt like I was running 109 miles per hour. Why so specific? What do you mean 109 miles per hour? Why not 106 miles per hour? How do you know exactly what going 109 miles per hour feels like? I saw tracers on everything and felt like I was almost flying. I was running on pure adrenaline at this point. I come flying through the woods and end up eating ass face first on dirt and rock. What? He ate his ass face first on dirt and rocks? Okay. I got back up and just ran through the dark woods, not being able to see anything or even know where Doc was. All I knew is I had to run and not stop. Eventually, I came into the neighborhood and I start to slow down and try to figure out how to get to my house. I stayed jogging down the road, and that's when I see a cop car coming down the hill. I effing booked it and jumped over a fence like Superman and went back into the woods. I don't think the officer saw me. Why are these guys running as if like they just robbed a bank? Like seriously, you just puked on the sidewalk. I don't know if that's necessarily a crime that you need to be running and afraid of like the paranoia is insane, but I mean, it's relatable considering these massive doses they took and considering that when you're on these doses, you can think that everyone's out to get you. And he probably is like, oh my God, if they catch us, they're going to get the drugs in the car. We'll go to jail. Like, I mean, it kind of makes sense, but it's a little overboard. There I was running around blind in the woods, high as F on acid and shrooms, running from the cops. I don't even know if these cops are chasing. Like maybe the second one's not. I run as deep as I can and just lay there on the ground in this brush. He laid in a brush? Must have been a big ass brush. My heart is beating so fast I thought I was going to have my heart burst out of my body. I laid there for hours, hearing cars going back and forth and fearing at any moment a helicopter is going to swoop down and send the canines after me. It's absolutely ridiculous. Buddy, you puked. That's it. They're going to send the canines after you because you puked? That would be a disgustingly waste of taxpayer dollars right there. I started to get stuck in time loops and even hallucinating seeing cops in the wood. I've seen this, not cops, but I've been running through the woods in paranoid states on acid, and I've seen people popping out of the trees. I stayed there until the sun came up and called my brother to come pick me up in the neighborhood. He gets there and I speed walk to the car while looking like a crazed madman. We got home and I laid in bed still tripping out that the cops were going to knock on the door at any moment, and I still didn't know where Doc was and didn't want to text him in case he was in police custody. He hit me up 2 days later and told me how he was also in the woods all night. It's funny they didn't see each other. He eventually came back to get his car and it was all good. Lesson of the story, I'm staying in the comfort of my home next time I trip. Bravo. I would say the lesson of the story would be don't get in the car with people who have been taking drugs, 1. Don't combine monster doses of 2 psychedelics, because when you combine things, it makes both things you're combining exponentially more powerful. Next lesson, just play it cool, dog. If you're in Walmart and you see a cop, you've done nothing wrong, bro. You were just chilling, just puking on the floor, minding your own business. You didn't have to act like you know, you just shut up the place, just take a breather, chill, and walk on out the exit like you did nothing wrong because you did nothing wrong. And the fourth lesson is, what does he say? 17? Yeah. He's 17. Fourth lesson is obviously don't take shit when you're 17. Your brain's not fully developed. You're too young. Your brain doesn't fully develop until you're 25 or older. Okay, 17 is at least 8 years too shy to be doing this stuff. Give yourself time. And if you're going to have these experiences at 17, definitely start light. Go easy on yourself. This is a disgusting dose that I don't want to see anybody take because this could have gone so much worse. And I don't mean being arrested. I mean, there's a good chance that you could have drug-induced psychosis from this experience and find yourself in the psych ward. And some people don't get so lucky. Some people, they actually lose their mind for weeks. It can be a long time to recover, especially if you go really deep. And with doses this big, I mean, on their own, they might not seem that crazy. Granted, 3.5 G's penis envy is pretty crazy. Combined, again, this is a monster dose. And the risk of psychosis is big, especially when you're putting yourself in these risky situations. Anyway, I hope you guys learned something. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and if you support these videos, watch them on Patreon. We're actually releasing 2 videos of each one, the uncut one, which is the Patreon one, and the YouTube edit, which is the YouTube one. So if you want to see all my stuff uncensored, head on over to our Patreon. Till next time, see you guys all later. Cheers.